Um, I'm here today with Casey Tygrett. That's how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Name?
Yeah, very good.
Where are you from originally?
I grew up in West Virginia, so southern West Virginia is where I was born and grew up. I lived there through high school, and then I lived in Ohio for a little while, in central Ohio, so near Columbus, and was there for college and for about 3 months after that. And then my wife and I actually moved to Illinois after that in about 2000. So kind of been all over the place.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
How was growing up in West Virginia?
It was good. My family lived. When people hear West Virginia, they if they have a picture of it, it's usually mountains. And a lot of times it's kind of windy roads and people who live back in the backwoods areas. We lived in a suburb, so we lived in an area where there's a lot of chemical plants and factories. So my West Virginia experience was a lot different than other people's were.
What do you go to school for? You said you went to school in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio, I went to my college years were spent studying religion and church ministry. So that was my undergraduate degree, and was there for 4 years. And it was a school that's affiliated with the Nazarene Church. Okay. So it's a different branch of Christian tradition. So I spent 4 years there and got a degree in religion and ministry, and that prepared me to go on to seminary, which I did my seminary work in Illinois.
Oh, which part of Illinois?
Lincoln, so just north of Springfield, about half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being in Rockford, how different has it been from the other places that you've lived at?
Yeah. The best comparison for me is to kind of compare Rockford to where I just came from, which was in the southwest suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
So I lived there for 7.5 years in Tinley Park, and the area was multiple suburbs, kind of linked together by through roads. So across the west and east and west roads and the north-south roads sort of connected all the suburbs. But they were all very spread out, and there was a mix of a few farms that still worked, and then big subdivisions, big houses, and a lot of strip malls.
Right.
So there was a town called Frankfort that had a little town square.
Okay.
But you wouldn't have a conversation with somebody where they said, "Oh, that person's from Frankfort," and you know how they all are. Because there wasn't really a defining, like, what did it mean to be from, nobody really knew.
Right.
When we moved to Rockford, it seems like there's a city identity.
Okay.
Like there's a collective group of people who call Rockford home and who own it, and it has an identity to it. It means something to be from Rockford, whereas where I was before. So that's one of the differences. The other difference is that it's a city and a big city. In a lot of ways, I've wondered sometimes if Rockford knows it's a big city.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think Rockford is the third largest city in Illinois.
Yeah.
In terms of population.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. But
and when you compare it to the other two, I mean, obviously the city of Chicago is the biggest, but Aurora is the second.
Yeah.
And Aurora has kind of an identity. But Rockford has this very tight-knit community kind of feel to it. In some ways it's nice. It's nice to have the small town feel.
Right.
In other ways, there are things that Rockford could do if we just embrace that idea that we are a big city, and we can start acting like that. But that would be the biggest difference, is that there's actually a city identity. It means something, and it also means for somebody like me is that coming in, there's something I can be a part of.
True.
Not only the enjoyment of what Rockford is, like the riverfront and downtown, city market, and all those really great things, but also to be a part of and to understand the issues, and to be a part of helping to heal divides, whether it's racial or spiritual, or be able to be a part of that and say, this is, the schools, this is part of my city, and these are our schools, and we're going to take responsibility for those. So that's a huge benefit, but that's very different from some of the communities I've lived in before.
And how do you see yourself? I know this is going to be a big question, but how do you see yourself affecting change in Rockford?
Well, first and foremost, I think for us as a church, it's helping the people who come here to be better followers of Jesus.
Right.
And in being better followers of Jesus, everything they do in our city should be filled with grace and bring hope and light and life to wherever they are. So if they work at, if they work in manufacturing, if they work in a restaurant, wherever they are, they bring that. So part of my role is to teach and just help guide people towards that kind of life.
Okay.
And so part of it's transforming individuals who make up the bigger picture of Rockford.
Right.
And then also being a part with Heartland of doing things like ShareFest, where we help to beautify or reconstruct or just chip in to a project in the city that needs to be done, and that's a large scale kind of thing. Or be a part of something like Stroll and State, where we have this opportunity to have this big holiday Christmas celebration. So I think it's all of that together is just being a part of the influence that helps Rockford become not only what people need it to be, but what God wants it to be.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and follow the Facebook page, Traveling Macco, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Link on the Facebook page. Peace.